Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at an exciting game played by none other than Mikhail Tal, one of the most aggressive players in chess history. In this game, Tal uses the Wing Gambit to perfection against Egon Varnusz in the 1964 Amsterdam Interzonal, showing us just how dangerous this opening can be if black isn't prepared. So let's jump right in and take a look at how Tal dismantled his opponent with some beautiful tactics. The game kicks off with Tal playing pawn to e4, and Varnusz responds with pawn to c5, signaling the Sicilian defense. Right away, Tal plays pawn to b4, entering the Wing Gambit. This move sacrifices a pawn to open up the queenside and disrupt black's pawn structure. Black accepts the gambit and captures with pawn takes b4. Tal follows up with pawn to a3, offering a second pawn to accelerate his development. Varnusz takes the bait and plays pawn takes a3, and Tal responds with bishop takes a3, developing his bishop while maintaining control of the open queenside. Now, black plays knight to c6, developing a knight and pressuring the center. Tal responds with pawn to d4, establishing a strong presence in the center and reinforcing his attacking plans. Black pushes pawn to d5 to counter Tal's central control, and Tal pushes pawn to e5, forcing black's bishop to commit. Varnusz plays bishop to f5, bringing his bishop out, and Tal continues his development with knight to f3, attacking the bishop and preparing to castle. Varnusz plays pawn to e6, protecting his bishop but giving Tal an opportunity for a beautiful move. Tal plays bishop takes f8, sacrificing his bishop to lure black's king out and weaken his control over the kingside. This is where Tal's magic really starts to show. Varnusz recaptures with king takes f8, and Tal brings his queen into the game with queen to d2, threatening to invade black's position with his queen. Black plays knight to e7 to block the threat, but Tal calmly develops his other bishop with bishop to e2, aiming toward the center and setting up potential attacks. Varnusz plays pawn to h6, giving his king a bit of breathing room, and Tal castles kingside, placing his king safely and getting ready for a kingside assault. Black moves his king to g8 to escape the exposed position, and Tal develops his knight to c3, adding more firepower to the center. Black responds with king to h7, hoping to stabilize, but Tal keeps the pressure on with knight to b5, attacking black's queenside knight and creating more tactical threats. Black brings the knight back to c8, trying to keep everything defended. Tal plays rook to b1, doubling up on the b file and preparing to bring his rook into action. Varnusz plays rook to e8, looking to bring his pieces into play, but Tal develops his dark-squared bishop to d3, aiming directly at black's king. Black tries to exchange bishops with bishop to e4, but Tal responds with queen to e3, keeping the tension and getting ready for a decisive attack. Now Varnusz's king is feeling the heat. He plays king to g8, hoping to regroup, but Tal calmly trades bishops with bishop takes e4, and after black recaptures with pawn takes e4, Tal captures the pawn on e4 with queen takes e4, eyeing black's weak squares and preparing for his next strike. Black plays pawn to a6 to drive away Tal's knight, but Tal doesn't back down. He pushes pawn to c4, preparing to open more lines and create threats along the queenside. Black plays rook to b8 to add protection, but Tal continues his attack with knight to c3, keeping his knight active and threatening to break through at any moment. Varnusz plays knight to e7 to try and reinforce his center, but Tal isn't slowing down. He plays pawn to d5, opening up the center and forcing black into a difficult position. Black has to capture with pawn takes d5, and Tal responds with pawn takes d5, keeping the center dynamic. Varnusz goes for knight to a5, trying to exchange pieces, but Tal plays pawn to d6. Black moved his knight to c6, and Tal responds with knight to d5. Black played queen to d7. Tal responds with queen to f4, aiming straight at black's weakened kingside. Varnusz tries to defend with pawn to b5, but Tal plays knight to f6, delivering a check that forces black to capture with the pawn on g-file. This opens up black's king even more, and Tal follows up with pawn takes f6, creating multiple threats and leaving black in a dangerous position. Desperate, black tries rook to e5 to block Tal's queen from infiltrating, but Tal brings his queen into action with queen to g3, putting black in a hopeless situation. Varnusz tries to defend with rook to g5, but Tal calmly captures with knight takes g5, opening up the king even further. Black captures the knight with pawn takes g5, and Tal delivers queen takes g5, another check that forces black's king to flee. Black moves his king to f8, and Tal plays rook to e1, cutting off black's escape routes and setting up a decisive finish. Black tries to defend with queen takes d6, but Tal delivers the final blow with queen to g7, checkmating black's king and ending the game in spectacular style. And that's how Mikhail Tal used the Wing Gambit to dismantle his opponent with some beautiful tactics and relentless pressure. Tal's creativity and attacking vision in this game are truly inspiring, and it's a fantastic example of how the Wing Gambit can lead to a quick and crushing victory.